Hey guys, James here. So it's been a while since my last video, and if you haven't guessed it from the title, I quit my job today. It's not clickbait, it's not a joke. I really quit my job, and I just want to talk about that. I've quit jobs in the past before, and typically it's been more of a accepting a new job offer and moving into a new job position. In this instance, it's more of a leap of faith. I do not have a new job lined up, but I do have some interesting job prospects. I've been going to interviews and just sort of mentally preparing for this as much as I can. I didn't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I don't like my job, I'm just going to quit. That's not what happened. There was a lot that led up to this day. And I think yesterday when I had a talk with my boss and realized that things were not going to get better at work, that I just ultimately decided that it wasn't worth coming back to work. And I made the decision yesterday that I just was going to quit. And I actually drafted a resignation letter and emailed that to her this morning. And I'd actually like to read that to you now. So it says, Dear Heather, Heather's my boss. I have decided to officially resign from my position with your company. While I haven't always agreed with your every critique of my performance as an employee, I will use this experience to improve myself going forward with my future employer. In the future, I also hope that you can create a work environment that is free of hostility, negativity, and anything that would ultimately lower the company morale. Although I am choosing not to continue my employment with your establishment, I am leaving in good spirits and my head held up high. Thanks and best regards, James. Yeah, I just kept it short, sweet, and to the point, and just let them know that I was no longer interested in working for their company and that everything was good. And, that I just had no loyalty and I didn't want anything from them. I realized that by quitting that I have, that I'm not going to be getting any unemployment and that I'm just kind of in sink or swim mode here where I have to figure things out quickly. I've been going to job interviews. Things have been going really well. Everything that sort of led up to this was just a culmination of things. A few months ago, my older brother passed away suddenly, and it was a big shock. I had to fly out to California, and it was just really expensive. It was overwhelming mentally, financially, just all this stuff that I didn't plan for. And I knew that it was going to take a while to recover from that. I was only gone for like 5 days. And a lot of people would have taken a lot more time than that. But I came back after like 5 days, and I knew it was going to be an adjustment period. I knew it was going to take a while for me to acclimate back into my daily routine. So I did have some performance issues because shortly after I came back, I ended up getting the flu for like 2 weeks, and I was still coming into work. I've noticed that a lot of people at this job have quit since I've started. There's been a very high turnover rate, which means there's a lot of departments that are very understaffed. That includes my department. And so when there's nobody to cover you, it's really hard to take a day off. And there were several days where I should have just called in and taken a day off, but I didn't. And I was going into work sick. I was dealing with the stress of losing my brother. And I made a huge mistake at work. And one that, could have rightfully got me fired. But they didn't fire me. They did bring me into their office and go over what I did. And they just reprimanded me and let me know that they, can't keep having that. I understood. But because we were so understaffed, there were times where I wasn't getting lunch breaks. I was working 9-hour shifts without any break at all. And it was just adding a whole other level of stress. I really wasn't impressed with my manager's management set or her management style, I should say. She just came off very condescending, and I say her, there was actually another manager. Her husband also manages the company, so it was kind of a game of good cop, bad cop. You never knew what you were going to get, and they were never on the same page. One of my managers would say one thing, and she would say another, and it was, very confusing, and it wasn't consistent. So I didn't like the lack of consistency, the lack of follow through on their end, and I just felt like when I was hired there, everything that they promised was just bullshit. And that's the way a lot of other people feel. I've heard people talking around the office, and they can kind of attest to everything that I'm saying. So I felt good in knowing that it wasn't just me that felt that way, but at the same time, when she would single me out and reprimand me and scold me, it didn't make it any easier. I think yesterday was when I really decided that I just couldn't continue anymore. She had told me that I was gonna need some retraining and all this other stuff if I wanted to continue working at my job position. And there were some things that she was supposed to train me on a long time ago before we had this conversation. And she said that she had said several times, well, I can't trust you with these new tasks. If you're already having issues with these, I don't want to add on to that. And I guess I understood that, but she didn't really have a solution either. And so she pulls me into her office yesterday and basically tells me that I'm not worth the money that they're paying me, that I'm not working at full capacity of what I was hired to do, and that they can't continue paying me if that's the way it's going to be. And I just thought that was very harsh and demeaning to tell someone that they're not worth the money you're paying them. It's like, you can think that, but you don't tell somebody that. You can just fire them if you feel like they're not worth the money that you're paying them to do. So I feel like she could have gone about it another way. That was the final straw. I was done being bullied and talked to like that, and I realized that they actually needed me more than I needed them, because although they do pay my bills, they don't decide what I do with my life, and I just wasn't going to be bullied anymore. And I just felt like by quitting, it just opened me up for a lot of different opportunities. I've had several job interviews, and it's a chance I'm going to have to take. It's not telling anybody that they should just quit their job. It's not what this video is about. You just have to be your own advocate. You have to weigh the pros and cons of your job. If you decide that you don't want to work there anymore, quitting your job is not the worst thing in the world, and it's at least an option you should explore or take into account before before that option is taken away from you. I'd rather quit a job knowing what I'm getting into and plan for it as much as I can than one day they come up to you and say, well, sorry, we're going to have to let you go, and you're just completely caught off guard. And I think that was really what I was scared of, is that they were just going to fire me, and I was not going to have any backup plan. I was not going to be prepared, and that could have been very detrimental to me. And I know I still don't have a job. This is the first time I've been unemployed in probably well over 10 years. And it's scary. But the fear of worrying about losing your job every day is even worse. I just hope that anybody that's going through this, if you're thinking about quitting your job, or you've quit jobs in the past and you've been in a similar situation, that you guys can take something positive from this and realize that quitting your job is not the end of the world, and sometimes it's just necessary. So if you guys are dealing with something like that, something similar, and been in this situation, feel free to leave me comments. And yeah, I just want to leave on sort of a high note and just wish everybody the best. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day, morning, night, whatever part of the world you're in. And I hope to see you guys soon in the next one. So anyways, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.